Can you actually believe it? A painting, right, by an artist who died when he was just 27 years old, sold for over $110 million.
It's incredible.
That's Jean-Michel Basquiat for you. I
Right.
mean, a name that just rockets from,
Yeah.
gritty street corners straight into the most prestigious auction houses, shattering records, shattering expectations.
Yeah, completely.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the fascinating, explosive, and often tragic world of Jean-Michel Basquiat. We've pulled together a whole stack of sources looking at his life story, detailed breakdowns of his most famous and expensive works, right up to 2025, basically.
Right.
And we want to unpack how this self-taught artist became such an undeniable titan of the art world. I mean, rivaling even Picasso, Warhol.
Quite the comparison.
Exactly. So our mission here really is to give you a shortcut to being well-informed about Basquiat. We're pulling out the most important bits of knowledge, those surprising insights.
The key takeaways.
Yeah, we want you to get not just what his art is, but why it commands so much attention, so much value, and, the incredible poignant story of the man behind it all.
And what's really striking, I think, is just how fast Basquiat's star rose. And how his work, which is so deeply rooted in his own life, his experience, and that sharp social commentary,
Right.
how it still resonates, still sets records decades after he died so young.
It's amazing.
So we'll trace that journey, from the streets of Lower Manhattan, tagging as Samo,
Yeah, Samo.
all the way to the heights of neo-expressionism. We'll look at the influences, what shaped that really unique artistic voice, and then, we'll get into some of those record-breaking masterpieces, look closely at what they mean, how they move through the art market.
Okay, so if you've ever wondered about the genius there, the rebellion, maybe the sheer audacity of Basquiat, or just what makes a piece of art leap into that nine-figure club, then grab your headphones. We're about to dive deep into this world where art, commerce, and this really powerful raw voice just collide.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this journey right from the start. Our sources really emphasize that to get Basquiat's art, you first need to understand his beginnings. Humble, maybe, but creatively rich.
Definitely. Born in Brooklyn, 1960, Haitian-American father, Puerto Rican mother. And you're right, he wasn't trained in some elite art school, not at all.
Far from it. Self-taught, essentially. But that passion for art, it was ignited really early, wasn't it? Largely by his mother, Mathilde.
Yes, absolutely. She was taking him to all the major museums in Manhattan, the Brooklyn Museum, the Met, MoMA.
Wow, from a young age.
Yeah, exposing him to masterpieces, fostering that appreciation for culture. That foundation is critical.
And it wasn't just the visual, was it? He had this aptitude for language, too.
Oh, completely. Fluent in French, Spanish, and English by age 7. So you have this multilingual mind, his Caribbean heritage, influences from both parents.
And that textbook story is amazing.
Right. Grey's Anatomy. He gets it after a bad car accident when he was 8. And all of that, the languages, the heritage, the medical drawings, it all feeds into the complex symbols, the text we see in his work later.
So he wasn't just looking, he was absorbing everything.
Exactly. Internalizing, translating, reimagining. And it's fascinating how he took those, quite sterile medical diagrams from Grey's Anatomy and turned them into this vibrant, almost violent visual language of anatomy in his art.
Reflecting vulnerability, maybe? And rebellion?
Both, I think. Personal vulnerability, definitely, but also this powerful, raw rebellion against how things were supposed to be represented. It wasn't just talent. It was this mind soaking up diverse inputs and making something totally new.
But then things took a difficult turn. His mother's institutionalization when he was 13.
Yeah, that obviously had a huge impact. His home life deteriorated after that.
And by 15, his father kicks him out. He's homeless, sleeping on park benches with friends.
A really tumultuous time.
And it's during this period that he starts tagging with Al Diaz. The Samo tags appear.
Same old shit.
Right. But they weren't just random graffiti, were they? They were these short, often satirical comments. Poems, almost.
Critiquing everything, consumerism, the art world, society. It was like his first public journal, using the streets, provocative stuff.
And then Samo is Dead, appears around 79. What did that signal?
A clear transition. Shedding that street identity, moving on. By that same year, he's already getting some recognition, performing with his band Grey at places like CBGB.
Right. Max's Kansas City, too.
Yeah, showing this sort of restless, multidisciplinary creativity and starting to exhibit some early work, laying the groundwork, really.
And challenging the idea of where art belongs, who gets to make it.
Absolutely. Challenging the gatekeepers right from the start.
And then, wow, the early 80s. Things just explode for him. That Times Square show in 1980.
Legendary. Over 200 artists in an abandoned massage parlor really shook up the downtown scene.
And that's where the critics, the gallerists, start noticing him properly.
Mm-hmm. And then 1982, his first solo show at a Nina Nose's gallery in Soho. It wasn't just a success, it was a phenomenon.
Fading to 5 more solo shows that same year, across New York, Europe.
It's incredible speed. By then, his paintings, vibrant, raw, chaotic, they were already getting him major fame, cementing him as this key figure in neo-expressionism.
That movement known for its raw emotion, bright colors, returned to figurative painting.
Exactly, grappling with social, psychological themes in a really intense way.
And this rise from homeless street artist to international star, it's just meteoric.
Absolutely remarkable. I mean, think about it. Within a few years, he's collaborating with David Bowie.
Right, 82, music and art.
And then 83 to 85, that famous collaboration with Andy Warhol, around 100 paintings together.
A complex relationship, I gather, but pivotal.
Hugely pivotal. It put him right at the epicenter of the New York art world. His impact was so big that by 85, the New York Times Magazine puts him on the cover.
New art, new money. The marketing of an American artist.
Declaring him the top young American artist of the decade. I mean, for someone who started on the streets, that trajectory is almost unbelievable.
It really is. And you have to wonder, did that pace, the scrutiny, the fame, did it contribute to his later struggles?
It's hard not to think so. Sadly, yeah, this incredible rise coincided with increasing heroin addiction.
Which led to his death in 88, just 27.
Painfully short life, short career. But the legacy, immense. Foundational for punk art, neo-expressionism in New York.
And that social commentary was always there, wasn't it? Critiques of racism, colonialism, class struggle, all through his unique visual language.
And what's truly striking is how that legacy just keeps growing, deepening.
Yep.
May 2017, Untitled from 1982, sells for over $110 million.
A record at the time for a U.S. artist at auction. The Warhol later passed it.
But still, as of 2025, the most expensive piece by a Black artist. It just powerfully underscores the enduring value, cultural, commercial of his voice. It resonates globally.
That's a really powerful point. And speaking of legacy, let's get into some of those specific record-breaking pieces. Because each one tells a story, doesn't it? About him, the market, his ideas.
For sure.
Starting right at the top, Untitled from 1982, that $110 million one, painted in what many call his prime year, 82, brought by Yusaku Maezawa.
The Japanese entrepreneur, yeah. It's a powerful skull piece.
But not about death, necessarily. Scholars see them more as these complex self-portraits, right?
Yeah.
Like a mask or a crown.
Representing his identity, maybe the pressures of fame, confronting Black identity and mortality. He takes that old memento mori idea and just flips it, makes it about presence, defiant.
Okay, so if we connect that to his other work,
Yeah.
you mentioned a skull trio.
Right. The second most expensive Basquiat, in this case from 1983, sold for $93.1 million in 2021. Also a massive skull painting.
And it forms a kind of trip pitch with the 82 Untitled and another one from 81.
Exactly. An Untitled from 81. These three huge skull paintings were actually shown together for the first time in 2018 in Paris. Amazing to see that progression. And in this case is unique because it's the only named work in that skull group, maybe hinting at a more direct story.
Interesting. That connection really adds depth. And then the third most expensive, Untitled Devil from 82, $85 million.
Uh-huh. A menacing horned devil's head. And again, many critics suggest it's another self-portrait, maybe a darker one.
And this one also has a market story. Sold by Maezawa again, right?
Yeah.
He bought it in 2016 for what was Basquiat's record price.
Only to break his own record a year later with the $110 million skull. Talk about market impact.
What's amazing about Untitled Devil 2 is the scale. You said 8 feet tall, 16 feet wide?
Just enormous. One of the biggest from a series he did during trips to Modena, Italy. Those trips were crucial for launching his international career. It shows the ambition, even so young.
Definitely. Okay, moving down the list slightly. Versus Medici from 1982, $50.8 million. This one feels really symbolic.
Profoundly symbolic, painted when he was just 21. It's a direct, audacious reference to the Medici family.
The Renaissance patrons in Florence.
Exactly. The bankers, the power players. By putting his signature crown in there, positioning himself against them, Basquiat is basically saying,
I belong here too.
I'm in succession to Leonardo Michelangelo. He's demanding recognition not just now, but within the whole sweep of Western art history, challenging its exclusions.
So he wasn't just making art, he was making these huge statements about his place in the world. But not all his works had a smooth ride financially, did they? Like Dust Heads.
Ah, yeah. Dust had sold for $57.3 million in 2013, a record for him then. But its journey got complicated.
The Joho Lo controversy, acquired with misappropriated funds.
Right. He later used it as collateral, and it eventually sold privately for much less, around $35 million. But our sources are clear. That price drop was because of the ownership scandal, the external stuff.
Not because the art itself lost value or Basquiat's reputation dipped.
Exactly. It's a reminder that the market life of a piece can be affected by things totally separate from its artistic merit.
That's a really key distinction. Then there's Flexible from 1984, sold for $45.3 million. This one stands out for its medium.
Totally unique. Painted on wooden fence slats. Salvaged, repurposed, not a traditional canvas at all.
And it's huge, too, 8.5 feet tall.
One of the biggest Basquiats ever auctioned. And that medium, using fence slats, it speaks directly to his street art roots, right? Blurring the lines between high art and the everyday.
Bringing the street into the gallery.
Yeah, challenging what art materials are supposed to be.
And his social commentary comes through so strongly in pieces like Warrior from '82. $41.9 million for that one.
Widely seen as another powerful self-portrait, symbolizing his experience as a Black artist, navigating the, very white art world of the 80s.
It's got that crowned figure with a sword. We see those motifs a lot.
We do. The crown isn't just royalty. It's this defiant assertion of Black genius self-sovereignty. The sword is, well, it's a weapon, but also a tool. Metaphor for his struggle, his sharp critique, carving out space.
And the value increase on that one was massive.
Huge. 380% between its last two sales. Made it the most expensive Western artwork sold in an Asian auction house. Shows that global reach, the appreciation for his statements.
Wow. Okay, next. The Field Next to the Other Road from 1981, $37.1 million. This one's interesting because it has recognizable characters in a scene.
Yeah, it was one of the few like that. Came from a period where he was really exploring halos, skeletons, allegorical stuff.
And created during that first solo show in Modena, the one that really launched him internationally.
That's the one. Its sale even had some drama. The buyer initially backed out before the Mugrabi family paid up. Highlights the speculation, the high stakes involved.
And shifting to another really pointed social critique, La Hara from 1981, $35 million. Maybe not the most expensive, but historically significant.
Very significant. It directly confronts the violence faced by urban communities, a theme close to his heart. Stark depiction of a skeleton-like policeman behind bars.
And the title, La Hara, is street slang for cop.
Right. Directly referencing that culture, those experiences. It was even featured in an exhibition about Michael Stewart's killing by police. A powerful statement against systemic injustice.
Yes. It's a stark reminder of how raw and unfiltered his commentary was. He didn't shy away.
Never. And finally, there's another untitled from 1981, sometimes called Tar, 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 Lead, 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 $34.9 million.
Also from that pivotal year, 81, marking his move beyond Sammo.
Exactly. It shows a crowned warrior bearing teeth, holding a sword and arrow, suggests a battle won, right?
A metaphor for his own fight, establishing himself against the odds.
That's how it's often read, a powerful symbol of his struggle and ultimately his arrival as an international art star despite everything.
So pulling these threads together, Basquiat's story, it's just this profound example of an artist whose life, whose struggles, whose unique vision are just inseparable from the art itself.
Absolutely. They forged this enduring legacy. From those humble beginnings, his mom's influence, that multilingual mind absorbing Grey's Anatomy, to the powerful critiques of racism, clash. His art always had something vital, something urgent to say.
And the staggering prices today, that $110 million untitled, they just underline how the art world finally, resoundingly recognized that singular impact.
It took time in some ways, but the recognition is undeniable now.
Indeed. And we've seen how specific pieces, like Dust Heads with its troubled market journey, show value isn't just about the brushstrokes or the name.
Context matters. Narrative matters. Even controversy plays a role.
Definitely. And the sheer scale of Untitled Devil, or the medium of Flexible on those fence slats, it just reminds you of his constant innovation, that restless energy, always pushing boundaries.
Which brings us to, I think, an important question for you, our listener, to chew on.
Okay.
Basquiat's art came from such an intense, raw place, social commentary, personal experience, the short, intense life. So what does it mean when art born from that kind of visceral critique becomes a multi-million-dollar asset, traded by the global elite?
Right. Does that commercial value diminish the original message? Does it amplify it? Or does it fundamentally change it somehow?
It's something worth thinking about.
Yeah, it really is. So what does this all mean for us today? As you reflect on Basquiat's incredible journey, homeless teen, tagging walls to posthumous superstar, commanding record sums, we invite you to just ponder how his legacy keeps challenging our ideas about artistic genius, about authenticity, and maybe the true price of revolution in the art world.
Keep exploring, keep questioning.
Keep an eye out for how art continues to reflect and maybe even redefine our world.